So today we'll be looking at the concepts of hierarchy, the concept of LODs, that's the level of details. We will be creating a dashboard and we will be revisiting some of the concepts that we studied in the last session. Okay, and I will be doing this more practically. So I'm using the Tableau Public Edition 2020.1, whereas the latest one is 2020.2, which has got some new features. But for this class, I guess this edition and this version would be good. So first of all, I'm taking a data source, sample data source, sample superstore. This is available with each and every edition. Right. So it has got so many tables out here. I can just order people returns. Yes, okay. And then we go to the worksheet here. Right. So as we said, this is a data pane. Uh, and let's see what is hierarchy. So the word hierarchy means that there is some logical level of detail. Now, if I go back to data source, there's a logical level of detail in different columns, in two different columns. If these can be, let's say this country, region, city, and state. If we see, Tableau has made it a country region, which is a what we say the global variable, geographical role, country, region. It has taken it itself. I don't have to do anything. The same thing with city, geographical role, it has become city. And for state, geographical role, state. And it is not that if I have the name city, then only it will take the geographical role as city. Even if I change this name, this doesn't make any difference to Tableau. I can do anything. Still, it has got the geographical role as city. Why and how it has done this? Because here it can see it as United States. United States. It tries and match it with the latitude and the longitude points that Tableau already has. The name of the countries are already present inside the Tableau itself. So when we install that, all the countries, cities, names, latitudes, longitudes are pre-built into the Tableau itself. So it says that these are United States only, but for United States, there is more than one this Troy, that's a city. And there's more than one New York, California. So this is all very intuitive thing of Tableau, wherein it identifies that which all fields are available, which can be merged into a hierarchy. That's a level of details. And what it does is that in the worksheet area here, if we see where is the country, country and region, it actually provides the hierarchy. Country, region, or has it removed it? I mean, okay, probably it
Yesterday, when
has
we
removed it.
mapped
Yeah.
the sheet on a geographical map,
Mm.
it also included the latitude and longitude. Maybe it would be hierarchy then.
Yeah, it was there. And Tableau does one thing more, that it provides you the functionality of creating a hierarchy. So I can create a hierarchy on my own self, and those hierarchy need not be in a hierarchical fashion. We can do it on different fields as well. Even if they are not in hierarchy, we can use them as a hierarchy. So I've created a hierarchy and postal code has gone in, which we don't want. What we want is the country itself. What's that? Country and region. Hierarchy. Country region. Okay. Now the country region has gone in, and below that we would want the state and then the city. This is the state. Sorry. State and the city. So if so we can create this as a right click and hierarchy, or we can just drag and drop it like this to make a hierarchy as well, which happened by mistake when I was dragging and dropping here. So let's create something out of it. Let's see the sales over the country, state, and the city itself. So I will do a sales. So this is my hack. I mean, double clicking the measures will actually create a chart. But if I don't double click on this first, I double click first on the measure, on the dimension, it will lay out a map because it's in latitude and longitude. So it will lay out a map for me. So there's only one country, that's United States. I can click here to see the states. Again on the plus sign to see the cities, and it has drawn me a map. Now if I want to see the sales, I've done this. Sales has come over here, and through size it is showing me that sale. So higher is the size, larger is the size, the larger is the sales. And what I do is I bring it here in. So what I've done is, let me show it again. So if I drag this sum into the colors palette, it will become colors and the size will go off. But if I drag this one while pressing Control and put it into the color shelf, it is duplicated into the color shelf itself. The size is there and the color has also gone in. Now, if I change the map to a map to the filled area map, in that case, and then I will probably have to do it by region, coloring by region. Drag it, drop it onto this. These are the pointers: central, eastern, western, south. So what are regions? If we recollect what we talked about in the last session in the group section and set section, the region itself is a group. It has got all the points, all the data points in here, but divided into four parts: central, east, west, and south. So these are this in itself is a group, and it's not a set. If you would want me to show the difference, the last time we did a group of two values, the 20th century values and the 21st century values. But here in the group, we have more than two, three categories, more than two categories. So in this way, if I do it as a set, if I would do a set, it will have either the central part, the east part, west part, or the south part. But the other ones will be an out parameter, because if I use one set, let me create it. So when you do this and it shows me like this, it says create set. These are the states in the set. Okay. For now, I'm showing it one only, and the set one has been created. Now, if I remove region from color and put a set in this, see the color scheme has changed from to in and out. I don't know about what this is, what is this. So you won't be able to actually see what's happening out here. Even if I change this to, uh, okay, it's in the marks card, so you won't be able to see that. Or yeah, show member sets. Then it will show me these only, nothing else. It has given the color to each and every city. So this is also a demonstration of a difference between a group and a set. So, so region is a group, so it worked pretty fine. It showed me all the things. So in the people table, region has got just three regions: central, east, and south. There's no west region in the uh, people table.
And this may be because you've got set one in filters.
Okay, huh? Correct. Whenever I do this, it automatically goes into the filter. So I have to keep in mind this. Now, the hierarchy part was this. This is okay. So this is a detail. The level of detail that we will be talking about. This is actually the detail part. So if I do a minus sign on the country, it will show just a country. Then the hierarchy says that you have a visualization in front of you, and somebody asks you something which is not available in this level of detail. And because you have created a hierarchy, you can just press on the plus button here to see the hierarchy there. When I do a plus here, it shows cities, else the values also. These values will, okay, if I put a sales value here, you would be able to see sales value has also been put in here, and the sales value is shown. But if I do a into the label, I can take this there. By country, this how much is the sale, we can see. The sale is 44,319. Now if I do a higher plus sign, now the this value got split into these many values, right? Again doing a plus, that value is splitted into these many items. So that's the main concept of hierarchy that we have. Now, if anybody has any question around to the hierarchy, then they can ask. No?
So this
Okay.
detail
Yeah.
button only shows the details of the hierarchy. Can you please click on it? Does it hide anything
Goes up.
on the
Yeah.
detail button? just below color button.
This what? This one.
Yeah. Okay, this is just a drag drop box. So,
Yeah, this is only for dragging. Place here, and all the things will be shown back here. So all the logical things that you would think about, you can use them into a hierarchy. Um, some other, let's say product name and product ID. If you want to make a hierarchy, you can do that as well. See, create hierarchy, it has opened up. It will create a hierarchy of product name first, then product ID. Here. So when you open this, the first thing it will show you the product name. Then if you click on the plus, it will show you segregated by product ID. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is the level of details. And to study the level of details, we need to first see what is actually the concept of aggregation and granularity. So if you look into the screen here, uh, when we go up, the aggregation is higher, and when we go down, the granularity is higher. And what do you mean by granularity is um, the sales in a month on a particular day would be in granularity somewhere around this place. If I aggregate it by week, it will go up aggregation sum of sales in a week. It goes here. Sum of sales in a month, it goes up here. The sum of sales in a quarter, maybe here. Then in a year, it will go here. Then overall sales would go up here. So that's the main concept of aggregation and granularity. Aggregation, as in the coding part, these aggregation functions are sum, max, minimum, count, these kind of standard deviations. We can do a lot of aggregation methods and granularity. So the level of details, when you see, there are actually 3 level of details. So the fixed LOD, include LOD, and the exclude LOD. The fixed LOD, as the name suggests, it's fixed. Uh, the example that I use, the sales of a particular date in a week, in a month. So if you fix the level of detail to, let's say, an year, whatever you do with the visualization, the level of detail which is fixed, the value in that would never change for a particular region, let's say. It will never change. Whichever filter you apply to it, to the filter shelf, do whatever you want to do, but the fixed LOD won't change. Or rather, the value of fixed LOD won't change. The include and the exclude LODs says that whatever you do on the filter shelf will be performed first, then the value of the include LOD or the exclude LOD will be calculated. Let's see what it means. So yeah, the formatting is like this. And the LOD, here we have the scoping keyword. We can have the fixed, we can have the include, we can have the exclude, the scoping keyword. Then we have the business ID, that's actually the dimension declaration. After that, we have a colon and the aggregation expression. This whole expression is wrapped in a what we call the curly braces. So I would actually tell you the now this dimension declaration is actually grouped by value. So when we do in a SQL or a PL SQL, when we do a group by, the business ID, this one will be actually a group by thing, this business ID. So I am finding the sum of user fans and group it by the business ID itself. That's the meaning of this fixed LOD. If you see at the include LOD, what happens here? Now, if somebody would want to tell me what this means, can somebody tell me? It is. People can try. Find me. Okay. So find me the sum of sales, order by order ID, and this is of the type include. Now, include means that whatever filters you have applied on your worksheet in the filter shelf, that calculation will be performed first. And on that calculation, we will include this level of detail through order ID itself. Um, I will be going through this in a practical also. But before that, look at this. The extract filters, the data source filter, then comes the context filters. And after the filters have been applied on these particular thing, we calculate the fixed expression before the dimension filters. And that's the reason that fixed expression remains the same, which whatever filters you apply onto the worksheet, but the value in the fixed expression remains the same. But after having applied the dimension filters, whichever value comes in, we do a include or exclude expression on that. Include means we are uh, going down the frame. That's we are going towards a more granular thing. And exclude would mean that we are going up the order. We studied about this here. So if I'm here, let's say this is a fixed LOD and it will remain the same. But if you are doing here the include will go down, that is granularity will increase. And if you do a exclude over here, the granularity would decrease and aggregation would increase. That is the concept of LOD. And whatever we are doing here by default is actually LOD. If I do a sales and I do it by region, for regions, it shows this expression, sum of sales, is actually a LOD. But which LOD, which is your level of detail here? We are segregating it by or group by. We are doing a group by sales, group by region. So now there is a question from my end. If I want to use that LOD, which I have, it's kind of a function. So where should I write that expression that it works for me well? This is something from the last session. So anybody want to answer can answer. Where should I write the expression? This expression, where should I write it? Hello. Can someone answer? No. The calculated field that I talked about first, it's our function area, and we can create a calculated field for that. Doing a fixed LOD and drop down tells me the syntax. I need to do a sum of sales group by region. Give me sum of sales. Correct. The calculation is valid as it shows. Put a OK. Sum fix. Now see, both of these are same. If I change this, you'll be able to see. These are the same. Somebody wants to ask something?
If we remove region from rows, what graph will it show now?
If we remove regions from rows,
In the top shelf for rows.
In this, then it will do this.
And if we move the sum of
Remove the sum of sales, then it does this.
Basically, this fixed filter actually does not map itself. It's just for values.
Yeah, so it's a sum of sales grouped by regions, and all the regions have been taken account into this.
Yeah.
So it's actually coming out. We go to, where is that edit option?
It would be on the fixed field. This is a profit.
Oh. There. So I've done the fixed, give me the sum of sales by a region.
It still requires region and column.
Yes. And if I am doing this by region, it gives me all the regions in here. I change the region. If region is equals to, we had a central one, right? So I write a central, this, then sales, and end. Calculation valid. If I do a apply, let's, the value here is 784980. I do apply. See, it has changed because now it's showing me just for the central part, central region, nothing else. And that's the reason. Here I have put in a filter. I put in a filter of a central. This thing I can also do from the filter shelf also. Okay. Now if I move a region here into the filters, it tells me which one. I choose central. It shows me the central part only. Okay.
Yes.
No, it's only the level of details that we want. So it's we have done this, or maybe I'll do it a different way. So this is the clear window button. So I'm clearing the sheet first. And to be able to see these, I'm not going to map this time around. I'm going to do this. Just drag, drop, and I'm showing the sales. Now this is sales. I do fixed. Now I'll be creating more calculated fields. Let's do it by mm, segment. Yeah, segment we can do. So include segment level detail of sales. Apply. Okay. Now we'll create an exclude. To a region this time around, sum of sales. Okay, this include and exclude. So sum of sales was this 44,319, 44,319. Include is also showing me the 41,319. The fixed value, which will remain 41,319. The exclude value. What have we excluded here? We have excluded the region. So it is showing me the complete value. This was the complete value as we see in the sheet number one. And sorry, I guess I've deleted that. So, okay. If I go in sales, this was 784,980. So I excluded that and it has given me the total amount. I can change the exclude to total to show me the total. This is our total amount. Fixed value remains as this, so it will not change. And include, we included the segment value here. So segment value is already included, right? So how to show the include value? Include the in this the segment value will already be included. Include. Okay, so what we can do is region and segment. I put this here. Segment I'm using corporate segment only. So for these three regions, I'm trying to include just for no, you do a show filter here so that it is visible out here and you would know that you have chosen the corporate one only. The fixed value remains the same. The exclude value actually has got changed. Now, can somebody tell me the include value and exclude value, what it tells me about?
The exclude value is excluding the values for the south region, and in the include section, it is only showing the sum of the corporate in that region.
Yeah. So here the thing is that whichever level of detail you want to show in your crosstab in your visualizations, you can use those level of details uh, without changing the detail over here in column shelf in region shelf. Without changing that, you would get another field which behaves somewhat like a measure value. That is a level of detail that we have here, right? So Now we will try to create a dashboard, an interactive dashboard that somebody would want to see from your organization. So before creating a dashboard, we would first need to know who are our audiences. Is the audience executive level or is the audience operational level? Because operational level people would want more level of detail, and the executive level would not need that much level of detail, and they would want that all the data be aggregated the organizational level. So that's the main question that you need to keep in mind before going for the dashboard. Right. So let's say we are to create a dashboard, and dashboard, as we know, that it's a combination of sheets. So we have to first create our sheets here. So starting with this one, I do it by region, and then I am doing for consumer only. So this shows me about this. And to actually pop it up a little more, we can color it by region. So that we can remove this show header. We have removed this. We have got the legend central, east, southwest, and the sheet name we can change to, uh, or maybe we can change the sheet name here. Consumer sales by region. And because there are no labels, we can switch on the labels here, and these are the labels that we have, so we can remove this one as well. There is no need for this because it's kind of a redundancy that we have removed, because in dashboard we require each and every inch of space. Right. Now here what we can do more is the region. This actually, the region is a word that is already available here. So we can remove the region as switching off the show title. Now this is in here. Left click this, press a control and drag it. Press a shift, sorry, drag it. It will make it a this hover kind of a thing, right? Floating thing. Now it is also not showing pretty good. So what we can do, we can change the layout. Do a single row and increase the size. So these are lot many things that we can do with the layout to actually improve our visualization part. Now if I place it over here, it is taking a lot less real estate than it was taking before. Right? This layout thing we used to do after the visualization has been, after the whole dashboard has been created. But I'm just showing you here because I'll not be doing it again and again. So let's go here again. And let's see. We have included just a consumer thing. Now, if I want the other things to be included as well, what I can do is I'm showing the filter, but I want this thing to be done automatically on the basis of user input. Can somebody tell which particular thing I can use in this kind of stuff? If I want to automate this on the basis of the input, the user input, what can I do? We have studied that in the past session.
can have a parameter.
Yeah, correct. A parameter.
Alternatively, we can also have this segment filter on the dashboard.
Yeah, alternatively, we can have this. And this is the easiest thing that we can have the segment filter on. And because I've shown the segment filter uh, in this sheet, we can also show the filters here. Region, segment, sum of sales. So you can show the region, you can show uh, the segment, and that way you can do. But this is not a good practice when it comes to using the visualization that is automated, because on the same parameter that I would be creating segment, I can change that parameter through the actions which we will be learning in the next session. And through those actions, I can change the parameter by clicking on a visualization. And that would be a much better, faster way to automate my visualization. So I'll be creating a parameter here. And that parameter needs to be on segment. Create parameter. So the segment parameter, the name, string, current value is consumer, and list values, consumer, corporate, home office. Pretty much fine. Mm. Mm. Show it, show the parameter control. So we have the parameter control here, which is a drop down and looks quite finished as well. We can change the look as well here. Can be a single value list, can be a slider, can be a type in. So this is a slider, which is not good because you would not know how many are there. So a single value list would most probably be the better one. But at this point in time, nothing is happening while I'm clicking on these. So now you must already know that what I'm going to do now. Does does that ring a bell to anybody that what I am going to do?
First of all, there's the filter of consumer segment here. That's where the values may not showing them.
Mm-hmm.
On the right hand side segment, only the consumer is selected.
Yeah. If I drop this out, okay, and I have a parameter, if I place it in filters, can I do that? It is not possible. Then what should I do? Again, we are going for a function. And in Tableau, functions are named as the calculated field. So you go into this calculation. This is a segment filter and it has got the segment parameter. There's the filter. I put it here. It asks me which value you want to show. I do a use all. Okay. At this point in time, it is consumer. I change the value. It should be changed, but it will change like you have to do a edit. Okay. Segment filter is our parameter and does not know which field does it correspond to. So I write a segment is equals to segment parameter. Segment is what the filter is going to be, and segment parameter is the user input that I'm going to provide. So when I change this, then segment would be equal to consumer, corporate, home office, etc. This is the segment filter placed here. This is going to change. Okay, also I did one thing here, segment filter. What was that? Hmm. There. So it's all analytical part that we go in. It's first we create an input parameter which takes the value from the segment itself. Then we create a calculated field wherein we have given a condition that segment is equals to segment parameter. Now that condition would yield me two different results, true or false. So when I go in, I drop the calculated field into the filter shelf, it shows me the results as true and false. And then I have to select one of these results. I selected a true result, and because I selected true, it is showing me the consumer value right now. Now, if I would want to exclude the values, I can change this true to false and it will give me the values other than the consumer. Edit filter. And if I do exclude or false here, exclude the true one simply, it will show me the values that are other than the consumer because consumer is selected right now. So it is showing me the sales which are other than consumers. But if you see, this is the same consumer sales by region. Now I want to do this dynamic as well, correct? So what I can do rather than having a sheet name here, I can do a sales by region, but there I go into the insert and I want my parameters name, segment parameter. Now whatever the value is there in the segment parameter, uh, it will come up here dynamically, and sales by region is actually the part which doesn't change. I do an OK. It is showing this, and I'm going to change the filter to include consumer sale, consumer sales by region, corporate sales by region, home office sales by region. And if we see in our dashboard, this is coming here. I don't want this thing. I can remove. I need to show a parameter here. Parameters. Segment parameter is shown. Now this segment parameter is shown as a drop-down value here, which you can change as per your requirement. I'll do a drag with a shift. It can come up here as well. Or if I don't do a shift here and do a control, drag with control, actually I want to make this non-floating, so show that all non-floating. Floating, I have to change this floating, so it will come up here, and I can say this this part can be down here. There. Now if you choose whichever you choose, your visualization is going to change as per this. So this was our first sheet which I created and done a bit automation onto that. Let's move. Now I can try and create a new sheet altogether, or what I can do from here, I can duplicate. This one is a duplicate function. It has duplicated me the sheet, and from here on I can change it. Let's say now I want to change it by segment. So where's the segment? So the executive level people might want to know which region, which segment we are working with. And now here for the home and office appliances, we have a sale which is segregated in different regions because of the color that we have here region. We can also do it by segment as well. Now segment is showing home office. Why? Because segment filter is on here. If I remove this one, it has given me the segments and different regions it is showing me. So it's pretty much the drag and drop kind of thing that you can do. And it's more of a creative thing. Whatever you can think about, you can create in Tableau. Now, if you remember that we used to get emails wherein the hello is written in a different languages and different colors. The word web we say. The word web can also be created here in the Tableau. Yeah. So how do we do this? The country. I'm going to have a field that is text. It's automatically has been taken here, but I go to text. I have to change it to text, remove the latitude and the longitude part. It has got just one. So I'm gonna go with cities. Mm. So it shows the city in by. Okay, so you want this with the region. Where's the region? Mm, let's do it by region here. It's not showing me the names here.
Once you've got region in rows, just try to drag and drop city in the column.
No, that's like this one. No, I'm not trying to do this. What? Do a text of that. It is, so that was another way to do a word web, but at this moment this is not coming up correctly. I don't know.
You can
To
have any
do
other
this,
column like subcategory.
category and subcategory. No, that will not do what I'm looking to do. Okay, so let's leave that to another day, and let's move to another, no, creation of the dashboard itself. Let's do this, and here we created this sheet here. I'm going to go drag and drop it maybe here or maybe down below. Now if you see, this is showing me pretty huge, right? So I can probably hide the fields from this point. I can do a fit of standard. It will show me this way. Similarly for this, I mean, it's all about the kind of view that you are looking for. Now I've got the space in right side of this, so I can probably use this in right hand side also. Now I've got the space down below, and because this legend, these values are also the same, so this legend can work for both of my visualizations. I'll make it multiple columns. Single column maybe, and then drag it down. Now this legend works for both of these. Now we have to create some more. Copy. Now let's do a line chart on the basis of date. So the charts are possibly, these are all the charts that we can create. And to create these, if I hover on to this one and I minimize it, so you would be able to see that for this bar chart, for horizontal bar charts, you need 0 or more dimensions and 1 or more measures. So this is actually a help that you've got, and to memorize this is I would not suggest you to memorize this, because you will be able to get used to it when you start creating the charts. For the order dates, I'm to create a chart of sale through order date. So let's just do this. I'm to create a sales. I can drag and drop, but as my cheat says, I double click on the sales and it shows me. Now I'm going to segregate this on to the order date. So it is showing me. Now tell me, this order date, is it discrete or is it continuous?
Currently, it's showing discrete values.
Yeah.
And it is
Correct.
also an example of hierarchy.
Yes, it is a hierarchy. Year, quarter, month. I can go on showing the level of detail till day. Right. So let's take it for month. I'm going to remove this and the year as well. So it's showing me the months. Now what it shows is September for all the years. The sum of sales is 213862 currently. If I do it, so upper side, year, quarter, month, day, these are discrete values. Now below year, quarter, month, week number, day, these are all continuous values. We click on month for the continuous. See, the smaller graph has changed into a larger graph because it has got the values in between as well. Right? It's more like a cursive handwriting and the normal handwriting that we see onto the computer screen. So the continuous stuff is more like a cursive wherein everything is joined to the next data point. And in the discrete, the two data points are not connected to each other. So it's a line graph. Now this line graph can be segregated in terms of segment. The three line graphs has been shown, or I can do it on region. There, this kind of a stuff would come up, but that looks quite messy. So I probably go with this, the total numbers, total sale per month, and I'll click on this text labels. Now these text labels actually makes it look a very bad kind of a presentation. So I go into the label, show mark labels, that's okay. But apart from all, we have the minimum, maximum, we have the highlight part, the most recent, and the line ends. Now, line ends would mean the starting and the ending point. This, but that is of a little use for executive. I would feel so. What I'm going to create here is for the minimum and the maximum parts. When was the maximum and when was the minimum sales? The minimum sale happened in February, whereas the maximum sale happened in September months, all years included. Now, this is a very good a chart that would I had this one. Yeah, this is a very good chart that an executive would require. I go here and use the chart, this one, and put it below. I'm trying to put it. So now it is time for me to actually tell you that why this is not working and what is the easiest way to actually create the same dashboard. Now let's create a new dashboard, and in in the this object panel, we have a horizontal layout, the vertical layout, blank navigation, export, extension, and these kind of stuff. So what is horizontal and the vertical? It's actually a container that can be used to easily put my visualizations into these containers. So what I want here is in this one, I want this to be here, correct? The two visualization, this one and this one to be of the same height, and this to be a complete horizontal one. So one, two, and three. Three different layers, I would say, of vertical layout I can have. So I put in a vertical layout here first. Then the first one that we created was this because there's nothing else available. So it is coming out in the full, and the parameter I'm to put this. When there's a little shadow here, that means I'm trying to put it inside a layout. Now if I click this, select container, vertical. That means in this, I've put this thing into a container, but this is still not inside the container. I am to put this in the container, so I possibly do this. It's actually a heavy lifting task to do. Container vertical. Still it is not inside. Now it's inside the container, but it's not showing. So I'll clear this up and do a vertical. One, two, and the third one is this one. I go down below. This. So this was actually what I was looking out to. To hide the title, reduce it, arrange compact list. I little. Now I can select the container horizontal and it shows me this. After that, just click it and do a distribute contents evenly. So it has distributed itself evenly and I don't have to do all that much. Just the trickiest part in this is to put your visualizations inside a container. And now I can either edit these, I can or remove these things. But I would suggest that you edit this and put the name, correct names. Okay, so what next I can tell home office sales per region. Okay, so this was segment. In this segment, uh, if in a way I can use this segment parameter into this chart, then it would be a very amazing thing, right? So let's go to doing that. It's all imagination. And there are a number of things I can do with the Tableau. So it's now what you have to do is you have to do it by a segment. You have to make a detailed maps. So you have the maps here available shown. And also I need to do a segment filter. There was segment filter versus segment filter. Taking a true value. Okay. And what is the value of the segment? Show parameter control. So the home office, the consumer, the corporate. So in this way, I've done it in a single segment parameter. I've automated two different visualizations and I can use them here as well. With the consumer, you'll see this. With the corporate, it would change. Both the charts would change. This first one will change, plus this will change. That's why I use parameters, because it shows me different things. Now I can change this title as well. Insert and the segment filter, or segment parameter, not the filter. Consumer sales over months. The corporate sales over months. And this. So what the thing is, whatever is the question your audience is asking, you need to be able to answer those questions with your visualization. And what the level of those questions would be dependent on which is your audience. Is it operational people who are asking for the visualization, or is it the executive level people who are asking for the visualization? On the basis of that, and keeping the questions in mind, you can create different charts, right? So I guess this is for today, and in the next class we'll be looking at the actions that we can perform on the basis of the dashboard, in a way that if we click on this home office sales by region, it actually animates, or it shows some different data onto my second chart and the third chart. That's an action, and we'll be doing that in the next session. And in this session, if you have any queries, you can ask or drop me an email or onto the conversation history. Any questions?